What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Season 3, Iririki Island. I am Lauren Pratt. Along with me is my co-host, McKenna Feeney, and half of our production crew has decided to join us for this cast assessment tonight, where we're going to break down all 14 cast members for this season. We're joined by Dennie, Carrie, Alex, and Ian. We are excited to talk about everyone. How are you guys doing?
Woo, let's get it.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, loving life.
Yeah, good. There we go. I'm ready for the season, rocking a new headband because I lost my other one. So you get something new on this season, different style, everybody. But let's get into it with our first person on the cast. His name is James. He's a multimedia specialist. Initial takes on James, you guys.
Well, it should be good at communication then.
I mean, he is the host of Zoomvivor, so obviously he has some knowledge in the org world. He's played in some, he hosts. So as we've got a good batch of new people, so he might be able to slip by where people don't know who he is or how much of a threat level he has. So he might be able to go far in this one where people don't know who he is.
Yeah, that's going to be the big key here is if people know him. He said in his own bio that the last game he played, he went out really early because he was just deemed a threat because of being known as the guy who runs Zoomvivor.
I expect him to be really good at finding clues.
Well, we saw that last season with Shay and Sean. They were like, we've played in so many orgs, we can find all the clues. And then Morgan was just like, nah, guys, I got them all in my pocket. Sorry.
Yeah. On paper, you would think because he's someone who makes games, his mind would already be working towards that. But you never know with these. We also asked everyone about what category they would be put in if they were a brain, beauty, or brawn. He jokes saying he'd be a beauty, but then says he's a brain because he's emotionless whenever he plays and he relies on strategy. Could be very bad for him, though, if you just play straight emotion or emotionless.
Yeah, I've played a game with him before, my first game I ever played in, and he is loyal to his people to an extent, but if they're not going to work with him long term, he has no issue cutting them. I do agree completely. If he is recognized by multiple people, he could be potentially a pre-merge. So I'm not really too high on James because I just don't know how he's going to fit in with this cast in particular because we have a lot of newbies, but we also have some veterans on the cast as well.
One of the questions on the application was, do you go with the flow or do you like to be in control? And he said he's a control freak who likes to appear like he's going with the flow. And I loved that answer because a lot of people said they like to just go with the flow. And I don't know how you win a game just going with the flow the whole way through. But I scoped out some of these people's Facebook pages, and this dude says he's always hungry, sleepy, and thirsty. So I don't know about that.
Has he not seen our season? We don't give breaks. It's just go, go, go.
Have you seen
No
our
kidding.
seasons?
We're straight through, like 12 hours. All right, have fun. Like production barely gets a break either. So
Yeah, yay.
Change that?
No, we're not changing that.
Do you want to go longer into the night then?
No. Our production team would be dead as well as our cast members. So predictions for how you guys think James will do on the season.
Remerge.
I'd say if not pre-merge early, very early between like the first couple boots of the merge.
Yeah, I was going to say early merge.
It's interesting because one of the questions on the application was, would you rather be a zero vote finalist or would you rather go pre-merge? And most people said zero vote finalist, but he was one of the few who said he'd rather go pre-merge.
Pre-merge buddies.
I think if you have a lot of people on a tribe that want to go with the flow, it's easy to pick out the guy. Like even the people who want to go with the flow aren't like, they're not brain dead. I mean, they know when someone's like taking over the game. And if one person is doing that and there's 5 or 6 other people.
I just think not everyone knows who they are when they fill these questionnaires out. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people think they're a hero in the game and they're really a villain, you know?
Yeah. And I mean,
I wonder what you're talking about.
mean, he says his favorite player is Parvati. So, I mean, if that's anything to go by.
Pre-merge.
That really doesn't give me anything. Parvati is a basic answer.
All right. I'll just go.
All right. Well, moving on to our next person, we have Bill, who's an attorney, but I don't think he's going to tell people that he's an attorney.
No, he messaged me. He's like, I'm not telling anybody a soul. You'll recognize Bill from the long game that just aired. He unfortunately got rocked out of that season. Spoiler alert. But so we wanted to have him back on this season to try and like redeem himself so he can actually like play in a game, because his game was cut way too short.
Yeah, I was the host of that long game. One of the only sad times in the game hosting was when Bill got rocked out. I'm so happy he's back. Bill is someone that I think fits well into a mini format. He's going to stick out, but in a good way. He's going to be the old guy on the cast that is extremely likable. Mm-hmm. I think that Bill, I don't know if Bill can win. I want him to win. I don't know if he can.
Yeah.
But I think this is a game that Bill is at worst like 6th place.
Right.
Yeah, I think he definitely excel.
Yeah. I see him as someone he's that, because if you typecast people in this way, if you look at a bigger spectrum, look at actual Survivor, he's one of those guys that you have to make, if they can make the merge, they're not allowed making the merge, they will be able to, even if they're on the wrong side of numbers, they will be able to survive a few rounds to try to make something happen when the other side needs to start eating their own. So he has potential to get to that spot because of his play style. He says outside of the long game, he says his biggest strength is outlasting when it comes to outplay, outwit, outlast. So I believe he has the wherewithal and the mind to figure out how he needs to maneuver on each round in a long game like this.
I think I'd say his biggest weakness is challenges. So as long as his people like
recognize that
challenges, like he'll be good.
That's why I was going to say that's really his only weakness. And I agree with Ian. Looking on paper, the minis that he has listed, he's done extremely well in them. But going back to the challenges, for him in this game, the biggest thing he has to do is stay calm, because if he gets very shaky, he doesn't perform well. Just being as a player that played with him, he gets a little nervous, a little frantic in challenges. But other than that, I think that if he can get to the merge, he's going to be damaged in this game.
Yeah, like he says his favorite player is Suri, and based off how he's explaining himself and saying his game, it makes sense why Suri would be a player. But like the way we are talking and the way we're describing, he almost sounds not even just Suri, but also would need to play like a Sandra-esque game in order to win the game, is be very likable, but also very like get to the merge so that everyone's like, well, why are we going to waste a round getting him out when there's these other threats? And then by the time you're at the finale, he's there and he has the jury votes.
Bill also makes it clear. I remember in the long game application, I'm pretty sure I saw it in this one, that he wants to play. He knows it's a game. He doesn't care if he's not going to sit back and wait to take a shot. If he feels like he can take a shot, he's going to take it. And I think in a mini, you got to take shots when you can. We've seen that over the first 2 games that we've had. So I think if he picks his spots, I mean, I think Bill's one of the people that has a chance to win the game. So
I agree.
I think he is so fun to watch. You can't not like this dude. Yeah. And he said that he'll go with the flow as long as it's going in his direction. And I thought that was a great answer too.
I think that's like the best answer you can give for that question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see him play in a mini because I think he's really going to thrive. So
the other thing I do want to point out with him being an attorney, if he gets to the end, I think he can out-talk the people that are sitting next to him. So if he gets himself there, he could be very, very good at speaking to a jury and getting them to flip a vote if he didn't have their vote going into that final tribal.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, we have seen in actual Survivor and Australian Survivor, we have seen people in attorney or like that type of position get to the end and tank, not just once, but multiple times, even though you would think on paper they can get there and win it. Because he says in his background with other games, he's gotten 4th place, he's gotten 3rd place, he's gotten 2nd place multiple times. Maybe there's a reason why he hasn't gotten the win, but we don't know. I haven't seen all of his games. I do want to say my prediction for him, I see him going far and being a major player in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren, next person.
All right. 3rd person that we have on our list is Steven. He's in manufacturing, and this is actually going to be his first season.
I was excited when I saw his application because for those of you in the Survivor Specialist community, you know Stephen Bays. He pops up all the time in a Q&A or just on the Facebook group. So when I saw him submit an application, I was really excited.
His favorite player is Troy Zan.
I mean, yeah.
I love it. This is my island moment.
His favorite season, and I remember this because I watched some kind of thing where he talked about his favorite season, but his favorite season is One World. So like, he's just a different guy. Like, I feel like you could fit the amount of people that say One World's their favorite season in the palm of your hand. So yeah, I'm very happy he's playing too. So I'm excited to see. And for the first time players, it's hard to say like how we think they'll do because we have nothing to go off of. So for Steven, I'm not going to give a prediction because I have no clue.
He was messaging me and he was saying that he's going for the win and going to play as hard as he can. So, I mean, more power to him. I love a good character, and I think Steven is definitely going to bring it. If he can back up with the strategy as well, he's going to be a definite threat.
Yeah.
It's always fun to have new
Facebook
people
page as well, and the dude likes costumes. So I'm half expecting and half hoping that he's going to show up wearing one.
Yes.
I mean, I'm here for it. I like entertainment. The only thing that slightly worries me is he said that he's going to be loyal and might have a difficult time betraying people. Right. You have to betray people most of the time to win these games. Mm-hmm. I mean, we see very rarely that someone gets to them without having to betray one singular person. So if he can get over that hump, I think he has a good standing chance in this game.
Yeah, and also with him, combined with that is him saying that he would be more of a go with the flow rather than taking charge. I understand going with the flow. There's a nuanced answer to this that people should see, and it's more of what Bill says of, I can go with the flow until I know that it is. The issue is, by more times than not, people who realize they can't go with the flow anymore, it's too late.
I'd say he might do something like Serena did, where she made it to the end and she didn't really betray anybody. Those Tapua 3 members kind of all mutually agreed, like, if we have to write each other's name down, we have to write each other's name down. So, I mean, if Steven gets in that kind of situation, then
it's just a matter of if he believes even going that far is a sign of betrayal from him, even if they agree upon it. That we don't know. He's the first of many people on this season that's going to be their first time playing, so it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yes. All right, our next castaway.
Next person that we have is Vinny, who works on the McDonald's crew.
I think the person who has the people who have the most experience with Vinny are you, Lauren, and Denny, because you've played like Secret Voldemort and Mafia with him, so you know close to his play style.
He will be a character. I can tell you that point blank. He has a lot of energy. I do think he's a type of person that wants control, and if people are coming for him, he does not like it very much, and he is vocal about it.
Yeah, I think he would really need to chill a little bit to make people feel comfortable. That's the thing. Really cool guy, fun to talk to, but again, like, he does come out kind of guns a-blazing. People don't really trust him in like any of the Secret Voldemort, Secret Hitler games that we play. So I don't know. He would really need to like take a step back, chill, just try to play a social game. I don't know how he is with challenges. I have no clue.
Well, also, when you know Sean, as you guys have been describing, it seems like a Sean kind of game, and that was second boot.
I think he's a little more low-key than Sean, though. Because Sean really comes at you, and Vinny will sit back and kind of, but he's not afraid to like throw someone's name out either.
No.
Like,
Okay.
Honestly, though, that won't. I think that could benefit him in a mini, being able to throw out a name. Because like, if it's a long game, you're the first person to throw out a name. There's time for that to really milk and saturate and really spread, and then everyone's like, "Well, who said that name? Said that name?
Yeah.
Vinny? Okay, let's send Vinny out." In a mini, knowing your placement is key. If he feels threatened, you throw that name out, and that's what you're pushing. You're pushing it to every single person, because if you can control the narrative for 10 minutes, that's the name that everyone's going to put, because they're like, well, I know it's not me.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as you're giving out one name.
Yes, I'm not. If you're putting several names out there, then good luck, buddy.
Yeah, then we get a Britley rock draw.
Yeah, I think Vinny is pre-merge. 100%. I think he could turn off some people with how gung-ho he is. However, maybe that is also someone that people say, hey, maybe they're not likable. I want to take them to the end with me. I think it could be hit or miss, but I'm going to predict pre-merge.
I mean, sounds accurate.
I think he's likable. I think he's just a wild card.
That's true.
And you don't really want to play with a wild card unless you know them ahead of time, right?
Right.
Playing with a wild card, you just don't know what you're going to get. Not predictable whatsoever. And it's just, you don't want to put your game in the hands of someone who is that unpredictable.
Yeah, we've seen what happens when people try to have the idea of, oh, let me keep bringing this person along with me and protect them because they're the wild card. The wild card will keep getting protected. You won't.
Yep, for sure.
I have played the wild card role before. It's not great.
Yep. And with that, let's move on to our next person.
Okay.
All right. With that, we're going to go on to our fifth player. That is JS. He's a local TV director.
Another newbie, right?
Yes. He's another newbie. 3 in a row.
I question that because his favorite player is Spencer Bledsoe. So if he wants to emulate Spencer's game, it's going to be very robotic and very chess piecey. And we see Spencer didn't get a vote at the end. So I don't know.
Well, and he says he'd rather be a pre-merge than get no votes at the end for that question.
So not entirely a Spencer.
Yeah.
But I also see that when it comes to being in control, going to flow, he sort of creates the non-answer of, I want to be running the show, but with someone else as the figurehead.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good strategy. Takes a lot of effort to pull the wool like that over an entire cast. And the issue there is, do you do it too long to the point where you don't get any of the credit when you get to the end?
It's
also take that person out.
It's hard to paint someone as a figurehead in these games. Like, these games are so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have 20 minutes at most at one given time to do that. And it's almost impossible because you're getting pulled for confessionals and people are jumping in and out of rooms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a winning strategy in this game. We've seen it happen. I think we've honestly seen it happen in our games, and we haven't even had that many. But in minis, it's hard to do. So if he can do that, all the power to him.
Yeah, figurehead is hard just because, like you said, in mini, that's more of a short-term strategy to create them. That if you need an immediate target over yourself, be like, yo, this guy's been running it the entire time. He's been directing us, telling us what to do, and you just hope that nothing gets cross-wired with everyone else.
Well, I mean, he is a new player, so he doesn't really know the fast pace of the mini. So if he just watches regular Survivor, they have 39 days to create a figurehead. Here, he probably doesn't realize that, like, everyone's kind of their own figurehead here.
I think he's going to play way too hard, way too fast, and be a pre-merge. And also he comes across to me as someone that might have a difficult time as managing the scramble rooms. You can't manage the scramble rooms well, you can run into a situation like Sean did, saying someone's name while they're literally sitting right there. And what you have to realize is people can pop in and out in an instant, and you have to be very aware who's coming in, what people are talking to who, because you can actually see which rooms people are in. So I just don't know if he's going to be able to navigate it. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say right here, I think he's first boot, but that's just my opinion.
Shots fired.
Wow, that's bold.
All right.
His tribe hasn't even lost the challenge yet, guys.
I definitely think he's pre-merge, which will make him happy. So, bye.
Well, Jay, prove us wrong.
Yeah.
I like to be proven wrong, but my prediction is first boot.
Oh, I'm sorry, not us. Prove Lauren wrong.
Yeah, prove Lauren wrong. I have a little bit of confidence. He had so much energy when I was emailing him. He was all excited.
But that's what I'm saying. Too hard, too fast, because he's new to playing and you don't know how to play the game necessarily if you haven't experienced these type of orbs.
Time will tell.
Yep.
All right, Lauren.
All right. With that being said, we're going to move on to Connor, who is the bartender on the season.
Always gotta have a bartender.
Yeah, I mean, being a bartender, you have to deal with so many different people, and only for moments.
Yeah, so I can speak more on Connor than the rest of you guys. I played a game with him last summer. It was like a semi-long game. It wasn't like a full cast, but it was more than just 12 hours. I believe he does give a good first impression. When we started our game, it was all just only thing we knew about each other was a brief 30-second intro video that we all had to make. We all got to see that before we were blocked from the page. And his was the first video where I was like, I need to align with this man. And I immediately got in touch with him. And he had this ability, not just with myself, but as I found out as more and more people came into jury, he had these very good one-on-one connections with people that he was able to build. Whether he can do that in a mini is a different question. I don't know his strength in minis, but in a long game, can be under the radar, making solid connections that will protect him to a point. He can do decent in challenges. I don't know about physical challenges because we didn't have any in my season from my recollection, but he's a good strategist. He's able to talk strategy and also talk socially. So I think he can come across very likable to anyone.
Well, since he's a vet and his favorite twist is the idol, maybe he's one to watch out as well for finding idols this season.
Yeah, he wrote that he's played a lot of games and he's been both the winner and the first boot. So I don't know how many games he's actually played, but
he's played a good amount. I have seen him play in another game and he went pretty decent into the merge in the last one I saw him play in. He says loyalty is a big thing for him. Ask me, but it's one of those, he's loyal, but he's not going to go out of his way to save you.
Right.
Like if the writing's on the wall, like, sorry, dude, it's my neck over yours.
I think he's going to be a vet that's smart enough to realize that there are a lot of new players, and he's going to be able to figure out that if I just skate on by for a little bit, I'll make it to the merge and then he can take over. I think maybe that's what Lauren was thinking with Jay in the first boot thing, was that he's going to try and take over too early.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Connor, after looking at Connor's application and hearing what Alex has to say firsthand, I would say Connor is either a final tribal council or he is the merge boot.
I can see both of those being likely. I could also see him being like the fallen angel, like getting right to the cusp, and then the other people realizing, yeah, if he doesn't win, we have to take him out, because he can be very likable, and he's just a stand-up dude. Like, he's not going to be aggressive, aggressive personality-wise with people, which I feel in minis, that already helps you a ton, because it's the people that are really aggressive that get more of the spotlight shined on them, even with experience.
I want to see how he does in the challenges. I kind of think that he either goes out right before merge or first merge boot.
Mm.
I do think. I don't think he gets to the end.
Our next person we're going to get into is Celestina, and she is a sustainable travel advocate.
She is another specialist patron that we have playing here. A few of us have talked to her. She messaged me about this game saying, like, I don't think I'm gonna do well, but I'm gonna be here for the confessionals and bring it and be a character. So I'm here. I'm excited for that.
As the person who gives the confessionals, I'm gonna be a fan of that.
Yeah.
I really wanted her to play in the long game, and when she didn't, I was like, oh, please play a mini. So I'm so happy that she's playing in this.
Yeah.
I really want to see how she interacts with everyone, and yeah, she said she said loyalty is appreciated and needed in these games. So I do think she would be a great person to work with in the game.
Yeah, I was pretty sad when she pulled herself from the long game. Definitely someone that I had wanted to see play, and just someone that, like, we all know, like, wants to play Survivor. Like, this girl lives and breathes this.
Right.
So, like, it's just nice to see that kind of energy on your screen, because, you know, staring at your computer all day can be fucking boring. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited for her to play. I don't know if she's on the tribe that I'm doing for confessionals, but if she is, like, I'm gonna love the energy that she brings. I don't think Celestina is someone that goes pre-merge either. I don't know how well she'll do in challenges, but
she says any puzzle challenge she'll probably be pretty good at, and define herself as more of a brain. But any other challenges, maybe she'd be a little shaky on. So at least if there's a puzzle at the end of a tribe challenge, she'd be able to maybe take home that win for.
But the question is, she's a fan of Survivor. Does she put herself in the hero role by taking the puzzle, even though she knows that's her strength?
Well, that's true too, but there's a lot of people on the season that seem to be very witty and smart. So we could almost sometimes see a potential competition for the puzzle section if there are different sections within challenges, because they might not be able to do the other parts of the challenge. So it could be very interesting to see the strategy behind that with who goes where on these tribes, because we have so many people that say they are brain heavy.
Yeah.
And you know she's here to play because you make more money when you're a 0 vote finalist than a pre-merge.
And then, well, I mean, which is funny because her favorite Survivor player is Reem, who is a first boot. I mean, he technically makes the jury because of EOE. But
dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Went down.
That's lame.
I mean, all right.
So just on Ian's perspective, I don't have an issue with Reem, but Ian is a no-go for Reem.
Yeah, Reem is one of the 10 worst players to ever play Survivor. She's just horrible television. But like, that still doesn't deter me on Celestina. Like, I'm still on the Celestina train.
Right. Luckily for Celestina, there is spoiler alert, there is no edge of extinction on this season, as well as
Alex.
as well as she won't be able to move people's clothes because this is all remote.
Yeah.
There will be no issues there. She's just gonna be a personality.
Dude.
And another thing that I love about Celestina, I mean, I don't know. Her favorite seasons are Fiji and Nicaragua, 2 seasons that most people generally don't like, which she loves Reem, Fiji, Nicaragua. I mean, what more of a character is there than Celestina, I feel?
She's probably the biggest fan that we will have on the season, and I like seeing fans play the game that they are so passionate about. Mm-hmm. I predict her going far in the game, but I don't predict her getting to the end. I think she's going to be too loyal to a fault, and she's going to get cut close to the end, because if she gets there, I think she could win because of her personality.
I think she's a 5th or 6th place.
I think 5th place.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with that too.
agreeing with everyone. I need some people to disagree here, which is why I'm happy you guys disagreed with me on somebody else earlier. But with that being said, we are going to go to our next person. That is Caroline, who is a freelance social media person.
Fact, she's my mom. So I'm abstaining from this cast assessment.
You can't do that.
Yeah, we
I
need.
sure as shit can.
Oh no, I need the hot takes from McKenna on Caroline.
All right. So my mom is a very casual fan. Like, she watched in the early days and then came back for Boston Rob when he was on Island of the Idols and for Winners at War. So she's a major Boston Rob fan, like 100%. He's her favorite player. But some of the strategy stuff like might go over her head, because when I talk crazy Survivor nonsense, she's just like and then I mean, part of me kind of wants her to get blindsided, because the day I got blindsided, Denny, she said, don't like, watch out, you might get blindsided. I'm like, no, my people are good. So I feel like I kind of want her to get blindsided so she knows a little bit.
Oh my God.
Wow, shots fired. And it fits her quote exactly. Fuck the loyalty business. So that could happen to her on the go around.
Yeah.
How do you think she'll be socially?
I think she could connect socially rather easy. I mean, she's a mom. She's been around a whole bunch of people. She used to like work at a nonprofit, so she's dealt with a lot of like various groups of people. I think she could fit in, but if she tries to be like too over enthusiastic or something like that, it could lead to a pre-merge.
I like that she's one of the first people on this list so far that has listed herself as a brawn.
Yes.
It's that old school strength.
Yep.
Hey, I love that she's a Boston Rob fan, because he's my favorite player too. So when I saw that, I was hoping that was real. That was really her answer.
Oh, 100%.
I wonder how she's going to be, if she does last a while, how she's going to be just sitting there all day on this Zoom, because
I kind of
it does last for a while.
Yeah, I kind of roped her into playing. I was like, here, get a taste of my world. And she's just like, I don't know if I want that much of a taste, but all right.
So were you honest with her about
how long?
Yeah, I told her, I was like, it's going to be all day if you go far. And she's just like, I don't know if I'll go far, but all right.
But when you say all day, that people think that's a potential 8-hour shift. This is a long haul.
For like 12, 13 hours.
Well, she knows from when like I've done the last two that like I've talked about it, that we like are on until like midnight.
You better Grubhub her some food.
We'll be at my dad's place. There's no Grubhub.
Your dad can cook for you guys.
DoorDash.
I think Caroline's, fuck Grubhub, DoorDash.
Whatever.
I think Caroline's big thing is gonna be, and it's funny that she put brawn, I think it's gonna be challenges. I think what she can do in the game is gonna be based on those first couple challenges. Does her tribe win? Is she successful in her legs of the challenge? Is she? There's just some people, sometimes just like the older people, you just worry about their challenge capabilities because they stand out. So right away in a mini, you've been playing for a half hour, you're going to tribal council. You need to pick someone and just single somebody out. And sometimes that just happens to be the older person on the cast. So I do worry about that with Caroline, but we're Facebook friends now. And she gave me a virtual hug. So I'm hoping she does well.
Yeah. So with her, I feel her most important thing isn't so much the challenges, but on day one, after the first challenge, and they have that time to scramble, if her team loses, if her team wins, it gives her more time. But if her team loses, she has to go hard at the beginning and create her crew. Or like she can't be a bystander letting the game come to her. She's gonna have to attack. Unfortunately, just because of the both gender bias and age bias, there's cards stacked against her going into a game.
Yeah.
It's unfair, yes, but I feel she could have the capability and like the drive to want to push.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this season we do only have 3 girls. So one tribe is gonna be lacking a girl. So we'll see what happens with the tribe divisions.
In all fairness, though, our seasons lack girls all the time, and we've had 2 girl winners.
Yeah.
So you never know.
That's true.
Yeah, Caroline, season 3 winner.
Let's go, Mom.
You never know. All right, we're gonna jump in to our next person, who is Garrett, who's a new grad physician assistant, and he's looking for an ER job.
Well, obviously smart.
Yes, very
Always
smart.
feared the doctor.
Alphabet strategy, maybe?
Ooh.
That's not Garrett's style. So I'll talk about Garrett a little bit.
After a while, he is one of the people who is more of a seasoned online game veteran. He has games in the past, has won a game, but it looks like a majority of the other games he goes out relatively early.
So he does well in Beer Survivor, but he's also been part of Zoomvivor. I had the chance to play with Garrett. He is very loyal, but sometimes his issue is he does not know when to turn against the people that are disloyal to him. So that's where he sees himself going out. Also, he was double idled out in Broski. So what are you going to do with that? That's just terrible luck. It sucks. My prediction for Garrett is if he can get in good with people at the beginning, he'll be okay. But I could also see him not working well with a lot of people in the season that we have based on the cast that I'm seeing right here. So my prediction for him is maybe the merge boot.
How is he socially?
He's actually very good socially. He is likable. He is, but he needs to be able to actually talk to everyone. If he just goes off in a small group and just talks to those specific people, he's going to run into trouble, because I don't think he's going to go and interact with all the rest of the crew. If he finds himself in a majority, he might exclude the people that are on the outs.
So he says that he's someone who will go with the flow, but at the same time wants to have control over where the flow is going.
Yeah, he contradicts himself a little
So he
bit.
doesn't go with the flow.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's what I said.
Well, he said, if the flow is leading to a waterfall, you bet your ass I'm not going to go with it.
Well,
He's
you
gonna
don't
be
know.
the salmon swimming
Yeah,
up.
I was going to say, he's the salmon. Is he going upstream?
By the time you get to the waterfall, you're already over the damn waterfall. So
When I said earlier that people just, I don't think they know themselves, I think he is the prime example. I don't think like he can come to terms with who he really is when it comes to gameplay. So I don't know. Maybe he why does he go out so early in all of these games? There has to be a reason. So I'm curious.
He's pretty likable in all of his seasons. It's just he doesn't know when to cut the people loose that he's closely aligned with that are eventually coming.
So it sounds like you're saying he can be social, but he doesn't know how to direct the social.
Or maybe he's not aligning with the right people. Maybe he doesn't have
Like is he spreading himself too thin, trying to be well liked by everyone, that he's not directing his flow traffic to yes, I want to be well liked, but here are the people I need to make sure are on my side so that we can direct the flow.
2 big things I see going for him well. He's good at finding idols' advantages. That was his strong suit in Zoomvivor. Other thing he's good at, he will do well in challenges. He's smart. He's also physical. So if his tribe sees him as a person that's going to be able to help him in challenges, I don't see him going early, because as we said in the mini, if you basically suck in that first challenge, it's an easy target because you don't have much to base it off of.
Right.
Well, he says his favorite survivor is Adam Klein, and I love Adam Klein, so that's cool.
I don't.
Be careful, McKenna. He's going to ask to use your podium as an
Oh
idol.
no. Maybe it's an idol this season though. Who knows?
one thing that I don't remember, someone just said it, but I think a cool correlation that we can kind of put to the minis is the answers to these people's questions. Not only just what they actually write, but these people have to come up with these answers. No one's sitting on this document filling it out for an hour. So people are coming up with these answers quickly. And in the game, you have to come up with things quickly. So if Garrett isn't coherent, or not that he's not coherent in his responses, but like some of them don't make any sense. Like I feel like in a game format that might translate to things he says to other people not making any sense, or like him confusing with what he said to one person to another person. It just, I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's just a hypothesis I thought in my head, but it'll be interesting to see if like though him and some other people with some answers that correlates in the game.
So
Well, I'm
We can
rooting
find
for
some
Garrett.
predictors.
I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well. It's going to be hit or miss just based on the cast and who he gets stuck on a tribe with.
Yeah, who's he get stuck with?
All right. Our final girl.
Yes, our final girl. We have Meredith, who's a corporate fraud investigator.
Oh,
I like that. I like that
yeah, hell yeah, that's
application.
interesting.
I'm
I-
high on
that
Meredith.
means-
Just
I
reading
feel like
her
that means
application.
she's here to suss out the bullshit.
Listen, I love this girl already because she's a Dexter fan. And she couldn't pick like one survivor who's her favorite, but the first one she listed is Coach, and I friggin' love Coach. So I was happy to see that.
The next one is Tyson, then Parvati, then Sari, then Jacqueline/John are her least favorite players.
And I can get on board with that.
Jacqueline's a fucking beast.
Jacqueline, I'm not agreeing with.
I
John-
know I do love Jacqueline.
No,
but-
John, though. Like, just them as a duo. I don't like John at all.
So what I like about Meredith and why I think she's going to be good in this game is her humor. She's very self-deprecating. People can more times than not will vibe with someone who's self-deprecating. Like when she was asked to bring Braun or Beauty, she says, "Brain, I guess, though even sometimes that fails me." When it comes to outwit, outplay, or last, she's like, "I'd pick out last because I may not be the most clever or the most athletic, but goddamn it, I am stubborn." Like I feel like she's gonna bring a levity to this despite having that stubbornness. But I think her occupation is also gonna help her drive her strategy and her direction in the gameplay.
Yeah, I think she's going to be super smart.
Mhm.
I mean, but one issue that I have with her application is for the 0 vote finalist or pre-merge. Who would ever date someone who would go out pre-merge? So Meredith, I'm watching.
Kenna, I don't see the issue.
Yeah,
Where's the lie?
I'm sorry, everyone here has made a merge.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate. I am very, very high on Meredith. I think she could absolutely win this game, no doubt about it. And also season 1 favorite, one of the guys, David, who was on our first season that had an amazing game, recommended Meredith to play this. He said she's super competitive. She's kind of come and play, and she will play hard. And I am just ecstatic to watch this. She's on my list for sure. And I think she will deliver in confessionals, all around threatening. But is she going to be able to make her threat level not known to others? That's going to be the real question for her in this game. I'm excited to see what happens, though.
Yeah, I definitely see her as a contender. I feel like she may end up coming just short, like a 4th place finish, but like she's gonna be a face of this season.
Yeah.
I think if a girl wins this season, which would be crazy, right?
Well,
It's
I mean,
gonna be-
Karen did it. She was the only one.
Annie was
Oh,
there.
Annie, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's-
I just mean
Wow,
that
McKenna.
because we've had 2 female winners already.
Yeah.
So it would be crazy if a girl won again.
Well, you have to think how much of that is going to be on some of these players' minds. Like we don't know if all of them have seen all of our productions yet. Like they may not know that girls have won the first 2. And honestly, if I'm a player coming in, it's like, oh, girls won every season. That doesn't really impact me because that's not this season.
Right.
This season is different. If a girl wins, it's because that girl deserved to win this season.
Right. Yeah.
Is
I
anyone
totally think
low
she
on
could
Meredith,
win,
or
though.
everyone's high?
I think everyone's pretty high.
Yeah, I think she'll be sitting in final tribal council.
Yeah,
too.
me too.
She might be like a Jackie.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Jay, who is a fast food supervisor.
He's our 3rd and final specialist patron that is like prominent on the page. They have talked to me about things, and they're worried about being too much of a chatty Cathy on the season. So that's one thing that they're trying to rein in, is they're taking control of a room or something like that.
It's not entirely a bad thing though, because I feel for the most part, outside like a few people here and there, the people that are very talkative in our minis so far have all at least made it to the merge. Outside like Sean, who it was more so his technological difficulties that caused it to happen. But, I feel like, think of Greg from last season. Like, he was talkative. He will talk your ear off and he'll talk about anything to your face, both positive and negative to your face. And he was able to get pretty decently far into the merge.
Right.
So I don't think being a chatty Cathy is necessarily a bad thing. It's just, what are you saying when you're chatting someone's ear off?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was thinking too. And Jay said that they want to play the middle, like in the beginning, and then kind of strike. I think if Jay can do that, actually play in the middle, then they'll be good to go. But
yeah, speaking from experience, playing the middle is a very hard thing to do. It can be done. It can be done. I got to the end in my game. I didn't win it, but I got to the end playing the middle. But it's very strenuous, not just physically on you, but mentally, because you are constantly having to check all your notes, understand everything that's going on, understand every single vote that's getting placed so that you know which direction to lean each round. So it's very hard, but it is doable. And I would expect someone who is a survivor specialist to be able to handle that.
It'll be good too for them to play the middle, especially with it being the first season, because if you don't really necessarily know what you're getting yourself into, it's good to just kind of blend in.
Yeah, I played trivia with Jay. He was on my all-star team for SGSN. Jay he didn't remind me of someone who's like a chatty Cathy. I thought Jay reminded me of me with like how much he talked, and I don't think I'm a chatty Cathy. So I think I really liked Jay. I mean, we've talked since. I think Jay is extremely likable. I think he's very personable. Like when we message back and forth, like I can tell that he really reads what I type and all that. I think he's gonna do very well socially. I worry about the middle strategy though. I think it's a lot easier to pick out than people think. Like Alex said, it's very difficult to do. So I mean, if you do it though and you get to the end, I think you should win the game more times than not. So
yeah. I will also want to say why I think he will do well on this season is his answer for his favorite survivor player. His goes in, I feel, in the most detail without going too far into it. He picks Todd Herzog, which first off, I make a big check mark because not a lot of people say Todd Herzog. Todd Herzog should be a lot of people's favorite player based off the game that he plays. It's one of the better winning games of Survivor, period. But second, it's the background because he finds so much in common with Todd, which means he understands himself. And knowing yourself going into a game where maybe you can't be yourself all the time is a huge benefit over others who are coming into a game without truly understanding who they are as a person, let alone a game player.
Yeah.
So I hope they do well. I want to say that they'll at least make the merge.
Yeah, I want to say that as well, but they might be toward the earlier side. They weren't as confident in their playing style as I would have liked. Jay was talking to me saying that they were hoping to just bring some good confessionals and stuff like that, kind of like Celestina, but didn't think they were going to last all that long. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Just have fun, be yourself, all that kind of happy stuff.
Yeah, if you're lacking a little bit of confidence, especially going into your first game, I could see that really, really hurting you. So I'm also going to go on the train where I just don't think they will make the merge.
See, we have differences now. You can be happy, Lauren.
Yes, I'm very happy. I like people.
Well, let's get on to the next person.
All right, next person is Tom. We have another teacher on the board. He is a writing teacher.
Teaching time with Tom.
Played a few games, been a runner-up, 12th place and 8th place.
So a good smattering all over the board.
Yeah.
And he also has a sequester mini under his belt. And sequester is a sequester mini, it's Survivor mini on steroids, because each round is different. How you get voted out gets changed every round. You're saving people one round. It's even votes gets out the next round. So to me, that even just playing one of those makes me think he's going to be able to handle a Survivor mini, because if you can handle sequester one, even if you go out early in that, just because of the randomness of it, you should be fine with just a typical, what the round is going to be every single time in a mini for Survivor.
Yeah. I was gravitated to him from his picture. He just looks like a cool dude. And I'm like, all right, I could vibe with him. I could play with him. So I think he might get some traction just being like that fun guy.
Yeah, I literally wrote that he looks like a fun dude. Those are my exact words. I'm just scared he might come out a little too hard. He said he plays to win, not to last a long time. So that has me just a little worried, because it's yeah, you want to make moves, but you gotta get to the end to win. So I am afraid he comes out a little too hard.
From a production standpoint, I think we'll love Tom, especially because he says he's a big fan of petty revenge, which it sort of reminds me of little kids playing soccer. If you get pushed to the ground by one of the kids and everyone's running around, everyone else is aiming for the ball. He's going to be the one who's aiming for the kid and kicking.
I love petty revenge.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that as well. If someone does him dirty and keeps him out of a vote or something, I could just see him going and stabbing him right in the back as well. So
even if he goes out next, I'm getting you out at least before.
Yes, getting you out before. I'm here for it. I think he's going to be entertaining on the season. He looks fun, loving. I hope that he goes very, very far. My prediction is, though, I think he's going to come across as too threatening, and he's going to fall within the 6 or 7 range.
Could.
He could also just be that shot out of the cannon, but fizzles quick, goes out pre-merge. We have to have some people go out pre-merge here.
Oh, really? Does that happen?
No, everyone makes the jury. Come on now.
I mean, you never know how we design the season. It changes every time.
We already said EOE wasn't a thing on this season.
Alex could be lying. Does he always tell the truth?
I never said Redemption Island was gone.
I always tell the truth unless the game says I can't.
All right.
I will say pre-merge then to go against the grain.
He might go pre-merge, but I don't want him to.
Right.
No, of course. I don't want him
I'm
to
totally rooting for him. I don't know the guy, but I'm already rooting for him. So.
I think we've said that about pretty much everyone. We're rooting for him.
Well, we're production.
There's
not everyone.
Plenty of people I'm not rooting for.
All right.
Speaking of rooting for people, the next person we have is someone I am very heavily rooting for, and that is Anthony. He's a laboratory operations guy, and I have had the pleasure of playing not 1, but 2 seasons with this person, and he is a class act, amazing. I think he could do very, very well in this season if he comes across personable and just gets to know people and just locks himself in right away. He can't come across as arrogant at challenges or be boisterous, but if he reins all that in, he's going to do quite well on the season. The last and final person that we have on this cast is Brett, who's a product regulatory specialist.
Also his first season.
Yeah.
Yes. He from his picture, he looks like just a nice guy, kind of go with the flow, that people would want to bring him into votes, where he might be maybe a little over his head, like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but like these people want me to vote with them.
Yeah, so we don't get, like, honestly, we don't get a lot from his bio. Very brief answers. Really, the only thing that stands out is he says his favorite player is Denise Stapley. So that makes me think he would want to try to play a Denise game. I wouldn't recommend it. It means you go to every tribal. Hey, it gets you more screen time, though. So there's that. But that makes me think that he'll be able to be a scrapper when he needs to be. If his back is against the wall, he'll find a way to get out of it alive and just play a survival game, which Denise has won with that. I don't think a lot of people have won playing a surviving game.
Yeah.
But who knows? He was recruited by one of our production people.
Yes.
I mean, I liked him because he had a dog in his picture, so he has that going for him.
Oh, Carrie, that's your winner pick right there.
Yeah, there you go, Carrie, dogs.
So he was recruited by our production member, Greg, who played in the long game, who Carrie picked because Greg likes dogs and has a dog. So, I mean, who knows? But he also says he's like a go with the flow kind of guy, which I feel like is going to be very... I think he will be one of those, like, oh, you want me to vote this way? I'll vote this way. Where's the majority? I'll vote here, but not in a bad way where it seems like, oh, you're only voting with the majority. I feel like he could definitely like go far in the game by just people wanting him to be in on votes.
Mhm.
It's so hard for me to have any type of read on him because his answers were so short. So I really don't know what to make of this guy.
Unpredictable player. There you go. We don't know what's going to happen.
I just hope he comes out and surprises me, because since I don't have anything to go on.
Yeah,
all
I saw from his app that like is worth mentioning. Alex already said his favorite player is Denise and his least favorite player is Russell, which like good on both of those. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. No idea. Whatever.
He says he's a beauty or a brawn.
He says whatever keeps me alive for how important is loyalty to you. And I think that's the answer of someone who is pre-merge.
Ooh.
Hot take there.
Pre-merge.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us for season 3, Iririki Island, the cast assessment. This season is going to be fabulous, great, looking forward to it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Survivor Game Show Network. Find us on Facebook, also under Survivor Game Show Network. And we just want you guys to join this awesome community. It's great. You meet a lot of fantastic people through it. It's a lot of fun. We have games going all the time. Check out all of our content that we have. We have all the seasons in the playlist there for you to watch. And with that, you guys take it easy. Good night.